I'm now entering the Choa Chu Kang Christian cemetery. It's about noon time and the weather here is very hot. There are not many trees around here, so on a hot day like this there's very little shade. I'm now at one of the paths here, and this signboard here says Christian Cemetery Path 15. Now on both sides I could see a lot of tombstones. This is a Christian burial site, and the first tombstone I came to says, "In loving memory of Pang Ti Pao, Distinguished Service Order." Now Mr. Pang was the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defence, Chairman of Sembawang Shipyard and United Industrial Corporation Limited. And the words here say, "Jesus said on the resurrection and the life, He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live." John 11:25. So you can see the photograph of Mr. Pang right at the top there. He was born in 1929 and he died in 1977. Next, I came to another tomb. It says, "In loving memory of Chua Chu Kang, born 1939, departed 1986. Always and lovingly remembered by wife, daughter and son." Now this is quite a new cemetery, unlike Bukit Brown, because Bukit Brown was used long ago and the tombstones there are rather old and worn out. But here the tombstones are newer and they look much better. Another one with a cross says, "In loving memory of our beloved mother Chia Siu Lian, died 1972, aged 81 years." And the names of sons and daughters are all listed here. It also says, "Thy will be done, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. Now I remember what Jesus said to Martha in the Bible, and Jesus said to her, "I'm the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die." Believest thou this? So here you can see a lot of tombs, look rather new, and most of them have a cross. And this one says, "In loving memory of Cheong Ah Kok, died 1972, aged 65 years. Rather interesting. You can see a lot of crosses, angels. Most of these have angels and also a Bible, a stone Bible that says, "He that dwelleth in a secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." The next one I came to, this one says, "In loving memory of Tan Kim Tee, born 1913, died 1972. Happy are those who have died in the Lord. Let them rest from their labors, for their good deeds go with them." Another tombstone here that says, "In loving memory of Terence Khoo, a son so valiant and noble-hearted, whose filial piety, kindness, loving care, and thoughtfulness will always be remembered." Very interesting place. Now a cemetery is a place that nobody wants to visit. It's usually a very spooky place, and there are no visitors at this time of the day. If you come here alone, you can feel very lonely. The trees are quite tall here and they provide a good shade. But young ladies are advised not to come here alone because there are many human predators who may be lurking in the bushes. Another tomb says, a very proud and loving person, Mr. Liu Pai Hu, Justice of Peace, also known as Lao Bai Huo, called home to God, 1972, aged 65 years. Dearly beloved husband of Hu Ak Chung and father of Lucy Bong, Maggie Bong, Jenny Bong, Molly Bong. More tombstones here. There's another one that is not well done and is collapsing. Right, some have very nice flowers here. Possibly the descendants came here to pay their respects to the deceased. And another one here says, in loving memory of So Bok Sui, died 1972. The sons, the daughters are all listed here. Now most of these Christian tombs have a cross in front, and some have flowers. Some are actually made of stone, some are made of marble. A very interesting place. Then I come next to some more tombstones here. Usually they have some grass and then two little angels at the side. Again, you can see a cross, a photograph. It says, in loving memory of Madam Tan Lei Yong, died at the age of 43 years. The words in Chinese, 耶稣说，复活在我，生命也在我，信我的人，虽然死了也必复活。约翰福音11章5节。Now next to the tombstones, you can see some very beautiful flowers. This is a very tall tree and it's called the African Tulip. Now at this time of the day, it's rather lonely. All is quiet except the chirping of birds. However, I come here just to take a video, not to disturb them, and I hope the deceased will not disturb me. This one, the angel has fallen. Quite an interesting place, and some of the tombs are not well taken care of. This one, the bushes has grown over and slowly will crack the tomb. I continue my walk in the midst of the cemetery. The grass here is rather tall because the grass has not been cut for a long time. I come next to another tomb that says, in loving memory of Chan Tiam Siu, aged 89 years. So you have the photograph and a cross, and the tomb is not well taken care of. The photographs are faded, the wording is also faded. This is another part of the cemetery. Another tombstone here with a photograph, two angels, and a Bible verse that says, Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. John 11:25. It says, in loving memory of Mr. Tan Guan Huat, aged 60 years old. And next to this, there's another tombstone. The wording is all faded and I cannot read any word here. the fallen branches on top of the tomb, and it looks quite deserted. Next, another tomb belonging to a pastor. You can see his photograph and a cross. 邱以中牧师安息主怀 in ever-loving memory of Reverend Joshua Chiu Yu Chung, aged 62 years. So possibly he died quite at an old age, and God has taken him home. Next to it is another tomb that has collapsed. I continue my walk. Here another tomb says, in loving memory of Madam Wong So Lam, aged 71 years. I could see two cars parked ahead of me. Possibly the people who came here came on a Sunday to visit the tombs of their ancestors and to show their respect for the dead. Right next to me is a tree that bears red flowers, and some of the tombs here have even a propeller, a toy propeller that spins when the wind is blowing. This one is just a mound of earth. There was no erection of a tombstone, so possibly the tomb was forsaken for quite some time. And this tomb is slanting at an angle of 45 degrees. The photograph is still very clear. It says, in loving memory of our dear beloved mother, Madam Lim Hoon Kim. And the verse here says, Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. John 11:25. And at the front, you have two little angels guarding the grave. However, the grave is slightly tilted, slanting at an angle of 45 degrees. So the earth below has collapsed and now is tilting at an angle of 45 degrees. Next, I came to another one. It says, in loving memory of Eleanor Huang, who died at the age of 67 years. Some of the inscriptions here are in English, some are in Chinese. Here there's another one written in Chinese, and the deceased came from Fujian. Alright, this one, the wording says, in loving memory of Madam Chiu Pek Lian, who died at the age of 32. So this lady died very, very young. God has taken her home and given her eternal rest. So you can see from here that this is a very interesting cemetery with a lot of cross photographs. And of course, at this time of the day, the weather is very, very hot. Okay, I've come to the next part of the cemetery. As usual, all the tombstones are here with the cross. Some are made of marble and very beautifully well done. Now, on some of the tombs, I could see the tree growing, the African Tulip, that bears red flowers. You can see the red flowers over here. It's very beautiful. And there's one where a tree is growing on the tomb, And as the roots grow into the ground, slowly you'll crack this tomb. Right here in front, I've another tombstone that reads, "In ever-loving memory of Richard Yap Kang Ho, called to be with the Lord in 1978. The name of the daughter, nieces are all listed here." Another tomb that is made of black marble. The wording is in Chinese. It says, "In loving memory of Madame Thi Guet Ngo, who died at the age of 70 years." And there's also a Bible verse that says, "耶稣说，复活在我，生命也在我，信我的人，虽然死了，也必复活." Very interesting place. Some of them are quite well taken care of. This made of marble with a patch of grass on top, 2 angels, 2 rabbits guarding the place. It says, "In loving memory of my beloved husband and our dearest father, Ngiam Tong Sai, born 1922, died 1978. The signboard here says Protestant Cemetery Block 3, and the graves here are from 1979 to 1980. So within a matter of 2 years, you can see hundreds of graves. Some have even a statue of Jesus, and on top of that there's a cross. Very interesting place. This one is the back portion of the tomb. There's a stone bird perched on the top, 2 angels below, names of grandchildren all listed here. So it's noon time and the weather is very hot. Unlike Bukit Brown where there are tall trees, there are very few trees around here. So at noonday the weather can be very hot. Here another tomb says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life." John 5:24. Then some of the wording in Chinese, 上帝是爱. This one has a pillar that says Second Lieutenant Bertram Yong Shi Jen, 4th son of Mr. and Mrs. Yong Kon Wee, brother of Victor, Leslie, Shibok and Jeanette. I could see a photograph of a young man who died quite young, possibly a member of the armed forces or the Air Force. It says, "In loving memory of a very dear and fine son, Second Lieutenant Bertram Yong Shi Jen, Singapore Air Defence Command, who died in the course of duty, born 1951, died 1971. Thy will be done." So he was only 20 years old when he died. I do not know how he died. Was it an air accident or whatever? I'm not very sure, but he died at a very young age. God has given him eternal rest. May his soul rest in peace. Here's another old tomb made of marble, but the tree has grown in the center and because of the growth of the tree roots, the tomb is cracked. It's quite a big tree with a lot of leaves, and as the tree grows bigger, I believe it'll crack the tombstone. Not only this one, but the adjoining tombs will also be destroyed. Alright, it's rather old. There's a photograph, but the wording is hardly legible. Alright, this is another grave that is not well taken care. The wording has turned black and you could hardly read the words. There's another cross with a photograph of an old lady. It says here, in loving memory of our precious mother, Mrs. Teo Chan Bon, went to be with the Lord in 1969, age 68 years. Very interesting place, but it's rather hot at this time of the day. So I continue my walk slowly from one tomb to another, and I come next to some old tombs. This one is in bad condition. Yes, the ground has sunken and you can see the cracks on the tomb. This one is also worn out with only a photograph. The words could not be read. And this one you see a plant and a stone on top. The plant has cracked the tomb and there's nothing left except the tree on top. So now from the Protestant cemetery, I'm walking across for another about 200 meters before I reach the Roman Catholic cemetery. You can see it's a very quiet place. I could see only one or two cars, one or two lorries. So there are very few visitors here at this time of the day. And there are also stretch of bare grassland with hardly any graves. These are possibly reserved for future use. Now in Singapore, after burying for 15 years, if the government requires a land, you have to exhume the grave and put the ashes in a columbarium. Now those with descendants or next of kin will usually put the ashes in the urn and then keep it in the columbarium. But those which are unclaimed, the government will possibly burn the bones and then throw them into the sea because nobody came forward to claim the ashes. So as you can see, it's a very huge, sprawling cemetery. I could feel the wind blowing across my ears. A very quiet and lonely place. And I could also see some one or two egrets, white herons. They come here in the afternoon possibly to look for food. Right next to me you can see the tall tree with purple flowers. This is the Rose of India. You can spot the flowers even from a distance. And next to it is a rain tree. The rain tree has some white and pink flowers, and at night the leaves are closed up. This is one of the characteristics of this tree. Well, you can see a lot of grassland, empty land that has yet to be used. So I believe this empty land here could take another at least 5,000 graves. I'm walking slowly towards the Roman Catholic cemetery right ahead of me. So I come to Christian Cemetery Path 5, and I could see that there are some instruments here, the grass cutting machine, grass cutter left behind, possibly by the workers who went for the lunch break. Right, good. I continue my walk, and on the left you can see a small chapel. This was used by the church people, the pastors, before they commit the body for burial. So usually they come here for a short service, 10-15 minutes, before they bury the coffin. And then I come next to the exhumed remains section. This one is the Roman Catholic section. The tombs are rather elaborate. Here is a very big grave. You can see the picture of the deceased. Below that, the photograph of Jesus on the cross. It says here, Lo Choa Chu Kang, born in China. A very huge tombstone. And this one is overgrown with weeds and grass. Next to it, I come to two tombs placed side by side in loving memory of Joseph William Cashin and his wife Joseph Matilda Cashin. And on the right, I have in loving memory of Alexander William Cashin and his daughter Edna Mary Cashin. So possibly these people are quite well to do. They have beautiful tombs to bury them when they die, and they occupy the slope of the hill. I come next to another tomb with a statue of Mary, and it says here, in loving memory of Zaida Ahmad Pereira, died in 1971, may she rest in peace. Then another very old tomb with two angels, but one of them is broken. It says here, in loving memory of Reno Anthony Lazarou, who died at 45 years old. Sweet Jesus, grant him eternal rest. So you have the photograph of this person as well as a cross. Right in front of me, there's another broken tomb where nobody cares, and is going slowly decaying, and very soon it will fall apart. Alright, right in front of me there are two tombs slanting at the angle of 45 degrees. This one says, in loving memory of our dearest father Albert George de Costa, born 1895, died at the age of 87.